At the headquarters of the Knights, behind a desk littered with legal documents, armed with a cup of coffee and the patience of a saint, sat the acting Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius. Jean busied herself with her usual duties at first, but soon she felt that something was off. "It's a rather peaceful day, don't you think, Lisa?" "Thanks to your vigilance, it always is," replied the languid librarian. "Everyone's hard work, you mean?" "Still, there is something of an uneasiness in the air. The breeze is dormant. The energy that swirls within the city walls is absent. The carelessness of its people was always contrasted by the fervor of those who look after it. But the scales are tipped too far in one direction this morning." "Or perhaps you have been reading too much poetry in your free time. Did you like that book I lent you?" With a playfully reproachful look, she replied, "What free time?" This exchange over, and both of them back to their usual business, it took Jean a minute of introspection to figure the source of the anomaly. She put her papers down, and with a concerned tone asked a question. "Lisa," she said, "where is Noelle? This is around the time when she brings us our breakfast." "Maybe she was caught in somebody's affairs. You know how she is. She can't refuse anyone in need. She is the only one who ever does anything around here, and she is never late. I'm worried. Please, do you know if something has happened?" "Oh, don't be. I'm sure she is fine." Jean, unconvinced, stood up and approached the nervous librarian, who was now sweating buckets as she raised her hand and averted her gaze, trying desperately not to look guilty, as she absolutely was. "Lisa, that is the same face and tone you give me when there is something afoot. What do you know? Rather, what are you trying to hide?" Cracking under the pressure of her interrogator's inquiries, she told her what she heard people murmuring about. At that moment, the Lying-Fang Knight released a roar that shook the foundations of the city. The very earth trembled beneath their feet from the force of a single word. "What?" Noelle never expected her task to be an easy one, and the ruthless Frost hastened to assert that claim. Soon as she crossed the broken bridge above the creek and stepped foot at the base of the mountain, she was at the mercy of the howling tempests, and mercy they did not afford. Although there were hints of life here and there, life stubborn enough to withstand the brutal climate of this mountain, it was by and large deserted. There was a path, but the ever-present gusts of wind erased all footprints that might have been. She closed her eyes and listened. The ghastly air in the sky spoke of the imminent curse of miserable death that would haunt any who would dare be arrogant enough to come, and this here was her last chance to turn back and leave if she fancied to live another day. She heard its voice, silent, unsettling, unnerving, harrowing, and paid it no mind. She remembered her oath, the promise she made herself a long time ago, the promise she never once broke. As long as she is aware and able, as long as she could stand to serve justice and protect the innocent, then she would. She had a job to do. There was a life to save. She clenched her fists and took her first steps along the once trodden path. She would soon know the dear price of sacrifice.